Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and we are going to be working on some more cards for Soldiers and the Angel Card Project, or Project Christmas Cheer as I've been calling it. And you may recognize some of these papers. Let me switch to the other camera. From our first couple of weeks, these are still some of the scraps that I had left over, and we're going to turn these into card fronts today. And I'm going to go with the Slimline look this time because I made these cutouts with some scraps previously, and I wanted to use them up. And they don't really fit that well on can't spell. They don't really fit that well on the standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cards. So I'm going to do these on a slim line to make sure I can squeeze all that in there and that it'll look nice. And I'm just going to use up some of these scraps because some of the papers actually came from the scraps and some of them are wrapping paper. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting stuff out. I'm going to use some dies here that I've got for my layering pieces. Or yeah, that's what I want, right? Matting pieces, whatever. Mats, layers. I don't know why that trips me up every time, but it does. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that stuff out, and then we'll start putting some stuff together. So I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I have cut everything out. I've kind of pieced it together the way I think I'm going to glue it all down. And I've cut out my card bases out of a light blue cardstock. It was from, let's see, it's Basil. Hope I could read it. Does it have a number? 309242. Looks like the number, and it's called Carton. Or no, maybe that's just another language for Star Mist. That's what it's called, Star Mist. And so I've gone ahead and cut and scored those at 8 1/2 by 7 1/2 or 7 3/4. 7 1/2. And so we're going to go ahead and fold these. You can see I need to do a little bit of trimming on that one. Sometimes I think, and I don't know this for sure because I certainly do not measure every piece of paper, but sometimes I swear they're not quite square. That or none of my paper trimmers are square. And if it were just one paper trimmer, I'd think, okay, well that's probably it, but it's all of them at one time or another. So I'm pretty sure it's the paper. But if there's any overlap or I think it doesn't look good, I just go back when I'm done and I do a real narrow trim. Like that one overlaps a little bit. But on this side you can't see it, so we'll use that side. Oops. That one again, well, no, when it's flat it's good. But it does, you can see it overlaps. I don't know if you can see, actually. There's just a little bit of a lip there. So I'll just trim that off. And I think this one was, yeah, this one's the same. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start piecing these all, gluing them all down. And I haven't decided if I should. I think I'm going to have to glue them right on the card base because these were layers. I didn't expect it to cut out the center. I should have. If I'd looked at the die, I would have known. But it's okay because what it does is it gives me some extra versatility in being able to flip, because since these are all double-sided cardstocks, I can flip them over if I don't like one side and use the other. So it just helps me get a little more contrast. So I'm going to go through now and glue them all down. Maybe I'll just speed up this part of the video in case you're interested in watching it. And if you're not, you can, if I remember to put the timestamps on, you can just go forward to the final piece. So I'm going to pause. So we've put everything together, and except for the sentiment on the inside, we are completely done. We've even got our label and our memorial butterfly on the back in memory of my mother. These were all scraps except for the card base, and that was the Basil cardstock that I mentioned earlier. And some of this stuff was just out of my stash. I wanted to finish using up some of these, like, what do you call those, evergreen branches, and I've got lots of snowflakes and lots of cardinals, so I just kind of trying to tie everything together, and I think they came out really nice. This black and silver, this black is flocked, so it doesn't show up that well on the camera, but in person you can feel the difference. It's really nice. I still need to find the rest of my flocked materials, but I have some that I'm actually excited to use. So we've got 3 more cards to add to our, I believe it was a total of 267, so this will make it 270. And again, these are for Cards for Soldiers or the Angel Card Project. And I really like the way these turned out, but I used up the last of my letters, and I wanted to get them off my desk. So I don't know if I'll make any more exactly like this, but I do think they turned out really nice. And I like the contrast between the sparkle versus the flatter look on the paper. So anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm working on some other stuff again with the Cricut and Design Space, and I'll be sharing those files. I've also been working on some digital images that I will probably put out there. I don't know if I'll do a video or not. Maybe I will. You know, I'm kind of new to that. I like doing it, but I've never actually... I've shared a few things, but it was not that good. Now that I, you know, in retrospect, now that I've kind of seen how it's done and had some papers that I really loved, I have a better idea how to put together what I'm looking for. So, you know, those videos will be coming. I can probably do a video at least of making a card with them or something, or a junk journal. And so anyway, there you have it. We've got 3 more cards. That brings us to 270, and I don't know what the next one will be. The dies I used, I do not know who they're from, but it's a set of 3 with the stitching, and it actually cuts out the center of the rectangle as well as the frame around that center. So can't tell you where I got them or who made them, but I actually liked the way they layered together and without creating a lot of bulk. So that was really kind of cool. Anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I appreciate your feedback. If you get, you know, wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I appreciate that as well. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Stay tuned and see what's coming up next, because I'm excited for it, so hopefully you are too. Until then, thanks for joining me. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and I hope you have a happy crafty day.